Hello and welcome everybody to my Let's Play number 1. It's going to be Diablo 2 and its expansion set, the Lord of Destruction. The game itself came out in the year 2000, the expansion came out in 2001, so this game's getting a little older now. But the Diablo series as a whole sort of made the hack and slash genre what it is today. So I think it's still an excellent game to play. Diablo 2 is my favorite of the series. So why don't we get into it and make a character? I'm going to be playing a Necromancer. It's my favorite class. It comes from the expansion. Not much to say other than let's get into it. We'll come up with a name. What about Zap Brandy Troll? Zap Brandy Troll. You can't have spaces. But here we go. Let's get that Y in there. Alright, yeah, that name's pretty great. Alright, here we are in the world. Before we talk to Warrior here and get started on our adventure, why don't I go over a few things real quick. First thing is, here's our character tab. Here you will see stats and whatnot about our character. When we level up, we'll be assigning new stats. We have our inventory. Has all our currently equipped equipment as well as what we are holding. Here's our skill tree. We have all three of these here. I'll go over that once we level up a bit too. You have an auto map in this game, so you can open it up with tab, which I'll probably be opening and closing it. I'll try and not keep it on the screen so as for better viewing, but it does make finding your way around the game a lot easier. Then, if you were playing online, which is still supported in the game, you have the message log, the quest log. Well, the quest log, we'll get into that in a second. And the game menu. So, here we are in the world of Sanctuary. Let's talk to Warrior and see what he has to say to us.
Greetings, stranger. I'm not surprised to see your kind here. Many adventurers have traveled this way since the recent troubles began. No doubt you've heard about the tragedy that befell the town of Tristram. Some say that Diablo, the Lord of Terror, walks the world again. I don't know if I believe that, but a dark wanderer did travel this route a few weeks ago. He was headed east to the mountain pass guarded by the rogue monastery. Maybe it's nothing, but evil seems to have trailed in his wake. You see, shortly after the wanderer went through, the monastery's gates to the pass were closed, and strange creatures began ravaging the countryside. Until it's safer outside the camp and the gates are reopened, I'll remain here with my caravan. I hope to leave for Lutga Lane before the shadow that fell over Tristram consumes us all. If you're still alive then, I'll take you along. You should talk to Akara, too. She seems to be the leader of this camp. Maybe she can tell you more.
Alright, so Warrior is telling us that some dark wanderer has came through and supposedly unleashed a bunch of nasty critters out in the countryside. And he's telling us to talk to Akara here to try and help out. Let's see what she has to say.
I am Akara, High Priestess of the Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye. I welcome you, traveler, to our camp, but I'm afraid I can offer you but poor shelter within these rickety walls. You see, our ancient sisterhood has fallen under a strange curse. The mighty citadel, from which we have guarded the gates to the east for generations, has been corrupted by the evil demoness Andariel. I still can't believe it, but she turned many of our sister rogues against us and drove us from our ancestral home. Now the last defenders of the sisterhood are either dead or scattered throughout the wilderness. I implore you, stranger, please help us. Find a way to lift this terrible curse, and we will pledge our loyalty to you for all time. There is a place of great evil in the wilderness. Kasha's rogue scouts have informed me that a cave nearby is filled with shadowy creatures and horrors from beyond the grave. I fear that these creatures are massing for an attack against our encampment. If you are sincere about helping us, find the Dark Labyrinth and destroy the foul beasts. May the Great Eye watch over you.
Alrighty, so in that conversation there, it was revealed to us that the rogues' monastery that was their home was overtaken by a demon and Dariel. And now they are afraid of this den of evil that we're going to. They're afraid that a bunch of creatures are amassing there to attack this encampment. So we're going to go check that out and try and level up a bit and clear out that cave. So, Diablo 2, for the most part, is a grindy game. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to handle any grinding I have to do yet, if I'm going to do it on camera or cut that for you guys. I know one thing, since I'm leaving the minimap down, sometimes I'll probably have a hard time finding things, but I'm going to try and cut away as much as the running back and forth as I can. If you guys don't like that, if you just want to see me, running around mindlessly, go ahead and let me know. I can always change that up for you guys. Just leave me a comment. I'd also, I suppose I'll talk a little about my plans for the channel going forward while I have this moment here running around just slaughtering things looking for a cave. This channel, the whole idea of it really is to just play games on and to let you guys watch me play games. I'm sure I will be having a few of my friends on with me in the future. I'm also quite sure that I will probably be doing non-gaming content in the future. But for the most part, this whole channel is going to be about playing games and playing them for you to see. Obviously, I'll be doing things like Magic Online drafts a lot, and multiple different Let's Plays. I'm going to try and hold myself to only doing one Let's Play at a time, but we'll see how that goes. Another thing to note, I'm fairly new to this, so especially with things like editing and audio and video quality, they're not my specialty. So you'll have to bear with me with that. I am trying to get better. Now let's acknowledge this. We have leveled up. Let's go ahead and level up. Now, one of the nice things about being a necromancer, I'm going to be taking a summon-mancer build, which means I'm going to focus on summoning skeletons and other things to help me. So you don't tend to need a lot of mana for that, which comes from our energy. You tend to need to focus on vitality, and then you need a little bit of dexterity and strength so that you can actually equip the equipment that you need. We're going to start out by putting our first 5 points into strength, just to get that up a little. And then our first skill point, you'll see we have 3 tabs here. I talked about I'm mostly going to be summoning, but there is also poison and bone spells, which are like offensive spells, and curses, which I will be touching into a little. The curses just debuff your enemies. My first point is going to go into Raise Skeleton. We already have 1 point in it from this starting wand they give you. But now we can raise 2 skeletons to help us out. So, there we go. For the most part, finding a ring is nice early on. They tend to be good items to sell for money. I'll save the scroll yet. We haven't picked up another one. And here we are. We found the Den of Evil. So, let's head on inside and see what happens. Our quest log updated. We went to kill all the monsters in the den. So let's go ahead and get to that. Now, another big thing about the Diablo series, I think Diablo 3 was a slightly controversial game. One, for taking almost 12 years to release after this game came out, and also just not being as high quality a game as it could have been, especially with the numerous launch issues it had. I do like the game, and I think with the updates they've come out over the last couple of years, the game has improved greatly. though I do not think it is as good as this game, and I have never played Diablo 1. I tried to find an online copy in order to play for you guys. I was going to play that one and then this one, but I could not, unfortunately. So you are stuck with starting at Diablo 2, watching this. One thing to note, I'll try and go over enemies as we go through them. Mostly these beginner enemies are pretty generic. They don't really have many abilities. We have these little fallen, which are kind of like imp dudes. And you have zombies and such as that. And then you have these fallen shaman, which are really the only special guys this early on. They resurrect the tiny fallen that are sort of their minions. We saw those gargantuan beasts, which are just big, hairy dudes that are strong. I think that's all we've encountered so far. We might have also encountered quill fiends out in the wild, which are just sort of generic shooting monsters. We've leveled up again. Let's put our points into vitality this time. Not that we're really at risk of dying, but we just want to have a cushion for now, and our strength and dexterity are already high enough. Here, I took another point in Raise Skeleton, allowing me to get another skeleton. Now, one of the things about having a summon answer build done properly is how many points you put into Raise Skeleton versus Skeleton Mastery. Early on, Skeleton Mastery is stronger than Raise Skeleton, but as you get above, I think it's 20 points, the scaling switches, and it becomes better for you to, in fact, put points into Raise Skeleton. Now, we're actually low on mana for once here because this spectral creature. You'll see there are special mobs, just like in the other Diablo games, that have properties. This one is a preset one that's always in this cave for you to fight whenever you come through it. And it looks like the boots we picked up earlier are already broken. That's funny. Oh, and we're overburdened. I bet we can find space for this, though. We don't need these javelins. So, though, evidently, I want them. Alright, I'll go over some of the things in our inventory once we get back to town, as well as the scroll system that is in the game. Diablo 2 has a little bit more, maybe, of a punishing system than Diablo 3 does, in that you can run out of resources more often. There's no unlimited potions, there's no unlimited talent portals, so you do have to manage those resources. It's usually not too terribly hard, but it is something that you have to do. Ooh, look at that. We got a jewel and a topaz. So let's try and we'll ditch these boots. Pick these up. Probably sell them. Or keep them for later on. Ooh, another stamina potion. That's always useful. The stamina system in this game, you cannot run if you do not have stamina. You can still attack, though attacking does take up stamina if you have it. You see we have an update on our quest log there. That is telling us that, hey, we only have so many monsters remaining. 2 in this case, and here's one of them. And then here's our last one. So the cave is going to be cleared out. Look at that. So here I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the portal system in the game.
Is that enough to earn the road?
Use the Scrolls of Town portal, and they open a portal back to whatever town you are currently in. So you can go back through them, but you can only have one open at a time. So now that we're back here, let's talk to Akara and see what she has to say for us clearing the Den of Evil.
You have cleansed the den of evil. You've earned my trust, and may yet restore my faith in humanity. Your reward is training in the skill of your choice.
Alright, so you see there, she offered to us a skill point. So we're going to go ahead and just put that right into Raise Skeleton with the rest of our skill points so far.
Yes?
and we're going to spend some time trading. Now, in one of the latest patches for Diablo that came, well, latest, I think it came out like almost 5 years ago, but she now also offers you a respecialization that you can use. So if you mess up your skill tree at any time on any of your characters, you can come back here and do that. Now we're going to go ahead and identify some of these things. Probably the ones that we think are most likely to be sold, like this jewel. Though, yeah, we're probably going to be selling that. And we're also going to identify a ring. And we're going to talk to Akara here. We're going to sell this jewel, definitely. And I don't think we're too interested in this ring, so we're just going to sell it. So with that money, we can go ahead and buy these books, which are fairly important. We get the Tome of Town Portal, and you get the Tome of Identify. Now, you saw me identifying things there. You have the blue scrolls for Town Portal and the red ones for identification. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a bunch of these. I'm going to make sure I have 10. Well, evidently shift-click nowadays actually just empties your gold stash, but that's fine. I have 19 of these, and I'm going to have, I think, 4 of these. Yeah. And we're going to go ahead and identify the stuff in our inventory just with a simple click. Alright. So, let's go over the inventory and the equipment a little bit. So, equipment is pretty obvious. You have armors and stuff, and they do exactly what they say. So this gives me some enhanced defense, which is calculated into the defense above it. It gives me some extra life, lightning and fire resist, and it gives what you would call thorns nowadays, where the attacker takes 1 damage when they hit me. So I'm going to go ahead and equip that, since it is better than what I have. This is slightly worse. Of course I want to equip these gloves. I have none. And then you have these charms, which are just things if you keep in your inventory, do whatever they say. So if this is in my inventory, I gain 12% extra gold from monsters. We have some rings. This adds 1 to energy and 4 to mana. So that's fairly useful. I'll go ahead and put that on. And this adds 1 to dexterity and 7 to stamina. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. This ring gives poison resist, but I'm probably just going to sell that, along with these extra things we want. And honestly, this grand charm is just better as gold, and it's gonna let me buy some more portals. So I'll go up to 10 of those. I have 12 of those. Here's some stamina potions. Next thing on my list, I'm probably going to put this into my storage, and I'll show you around that. Kasha here wants to give us a new quest. We'll get to her in a second. So here we have our stash. You can store your gold here, and you can also store items and equipment here. The usefulness of this is when you die in this game, you drop everything that's on you, in your equipment, everything in your everything in your inventory here. So the things in your stash will always be around. So sometimes it's useful to keep a spare inventory set, or a spare. It's good to keep your gold there. It's good to keep maybe a spare set of inventory and valuable items. So we came over here to Charcy. She's the blacksmith. I sort of skipped over her inventory, or her dialogue. That's my bad. Basically, all she says is that a lot of the rogues used to be great warriors, but now they're corrupted by this new demon that's in town. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a light belt. The reason I want to buy this is it expands this little section here, so that we can store more potions here, which is useful. And then I'm going to sell these extra potions back to her. I'm going to try and keep them pretty much even here. I also have these stamina potions. If I ever want to use them, I'm going to just keep those on hand. Alright, let's store this little bit of extra gold. Not that it matters. And I think now we can go ahead and talk to Kasia and see what's next on our agenda.
Welcome, Outlander, to our glorious hovel. I know you're here to challenge the evil that's driven us from our ancestral home. But know this, Akara may be our spiritual leader, but I command the rogues in battle. It will take more than just killing a few beasts in the wilderness to earn my trust. My rogue scouts have just reported an abomination in the monastery graveyard. Apparently, Andariel is not content to take only our living. Bloodraven, one of our finest captains in the battle against Diablo at Tristram, was also one of the first to be corrupted by Andariel. Now you'll find her in the monastery graveyard, raising our dead as zombies. We cannot abide this defilement. If you are truly our ally, you will help us destroy her.
Alright, so Kasia was talking about how one of their finest captains, Bloodraven, was corrupted by Andariel and is now raising the undead in their sacred burial grounds. So, we're going to go ahead and get to that in the next episode. So, I would appreciate if you liked and subscribed to my videos. If you have any comments on this video, please leave them in the comment section below. Other than that, just have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.